Oklo stock is up 421% this year and more than 1100% over the last 12 months. But it's already pulled back from a $144 high to about $110. The question today is simple. Is this just the start of nuclear's biggest comeback? Or are we staring at a bubble that's just waiting to pop? Well, here's what I'm watching. Unlike most reactor developers who just design plants and hand them off, Oklo wants to build, own, and operate them, selling electricity directly to customers via long-term contracts. That means recurring revenue, not just one-off licensing fees. And with fuel recycling, they've got the US Department of Energy clearance to tap into a stockpile that could power the country for 150 years. That's not just innovation, folks, that's moat, right? And here's the signal I think most of us are missing. Oklo just broke ground on its first powerhouse in Idaho. If this goes live on schedule, it doesn't just validate the technology, it proves the model. That's the line between hype and execution. And stick with me, because in this breakdown, I'm going to look at the real numbers, the federal projects, and the megawatt scale deals with Equinix and Switch that could redefine how nuclear competes with renewables. My name is Rick Orford. I've been trading since 1999, and I am not a financial advisor. That's a good thing because it means I'm not here to sell you something that you don't want. I'm here to break down the numbers so retail investors like you can make smarter, more informed decisions with your money. I want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. The Motley Fool is a company that provides investing insight and stock recommendations for investors of all skill sets and risk levels. And you all know how much I love researching new stocks and trying to find the next best investment. So I'm proud to partner with The Motley Fool to bring you 10 stock picks from their popular product, Stock Advisor. Stock Advisor has beaten the market by almost 6 times. Go to fool.com/ricko to get your 10 stock picks right now. Oklo is a nuclear energy company based in California. They were founded in 2013 and went public in May of 2024 under the ticker Oklo. And here's why this company is so different from the rest, and why I think Wall Street can't stop watching it. Unlike traditional reactor developers that only design and license plants, Oklo wants to build, own, and operate them, essentially selling electricity and heat directly to its customers. This model is built around long-term power purchase agreements, or PPAs, which allows the generation of recurring revenue while shifting the project risk and responsibility to Oklo. So you could say that Oklo isn't just building reactors, they're building an infinite stream of energy revenue. And at the same time, Oklo is advancing fuel recycling technology that can convert used nuclear fuel into a reusable resource. And this secures Oklo's supply chain, and it strengthens its entire sustainability story, turning what was once seen as nuclear energy's greatest weakness into its competitive advantage. And that's the kind of pivot that flips a liability into a moat, and investors are loving it. At the center of Oklo's offering is the Aurora Powerhouse. This is a compact, fast fission reactor that's designed to deliver up to 15 megawatts of clean and reliable power. Aurora powerhouses can operate on recycled nuclear waste, and they unlock energy that the traditional systems just throw away. Think about it, turning yesterday's nuclear waste into tomorrow's growth story. And with demand that's growing so rapidly, and with agreements already in place across utilities, data centers, think industry and government sectors, Oklo is preparing for their first Aurora powerhouse deployment by late 2027 or early 2028. Fuel recycling remains a cornerstone of its vision. Roughly 95% of nuclear waste energy is left unused, but Oklo's planned Aurora fuel fab facility will recycle it into a valuable resource. And if they can pull it off, they're essentially unlocking a vault of stranded energy that no one else has figured out how to use until now. And this effort even earned special clearance from the US Department of Energy, granting access to the nation's stockpile of used fuel, a resource capable of powering the United States for 150 years. So you could say that Oklo doesn't just have a plan, it has the keys to America's nuclear treasure chest. Oklo stock recently closed at $110.53, down from its all-time high of $144.49 in September. Year to date, though, the stock is up 421%, and over the last 52 weeks, 1,188%. And that's parabolic growth by any standard. And the recent pullback begs a question. Is this a healthy correction or the start of something bigger? Well, Oklo's story isn't just about what it's building today, but also about what can fuel its growth in the years ahead. And it's something that I get asked about a lot on my Discord channel, because that's where things really start to get interesting. Beyond its reactors and recycling technology, the company is positioned to benefit from federal support, regulatory progress, strategic partnerships, and of course, a rapidly growing pipeline. When you see all four of those lining up at once, government, regulation, partnerships, pipeline, that's when investors really start to lean in, right? And one major catalyst I see is its projects with the US government. Oklo, along with its subsidiary Atomic Alchemy, has been selected for 3 projects under the US Department of Energy's Reactor pilot program, which aims to achieve criticality in at least 3 test reactors by July 4th, 2026. Funny, July 4th, right? And here's the kicker. Hitting criticality isn't just a milestone, it's a proof of concept at the highest level. In nuclear energy terms, criticality means that a reactor has reached the point where it can sustain a controlled, self-sustaining chain reaction. And this selection accelerates Oklo's deployment timelines and offers valuable operational data to support future licensing, while also reflecting growing federal momentum to modernize nuclear innovation through public-private collaboration. What does this mean in English? Well, the US government is betting on Oklo to deliver, and it's entirely possible they can. In line with this, just a week ago, Oklo officially broke ground on its first Aurora Powerhouse at the Idaho National Laboratory under the Department of Energy's Reactor pilot program. This is basically the first out of 3 projects awarded by the DOE under the program. Groundbreaking isn't just symbolic, it's the first domino. And this Aurora, called Aurora INL for the Idaho National Laboratory, is a new type of reactor that's cooled by sodium and powered with metal fuel, based on a proven experimental breeder reactor 2 design that ran safely in Idaho for 30 years. Oklo has DOE approval to use fuel from that reactor and is halfway through the authorization process to make its very first core. You could say that Oklo isn't just reinventing the wheel, it's upgrading a design that's been working safely for already 3 decades. Also, earlier this September, Oklo announced the deployment of a fuel recycling facility in Tennessee as the first phase of an advanced fuel center. With a planned investment of up to $1.68 billion, the project is the first privately funded facility of its kind in the States, created to supply fuel for Oklo's Aurora powerhouses, and production for that is expected to begin in the early 2030s. That means Oklo isn't just dependent on regulators, it's building out the infrastructure for its very own supply chain. And if that's not all, in August, Oklo advanced its growth by partnering with Lightbridge to co-locate a fuel fab facility and develop advanced fuels, while also signing major energy agreements, 500 megawatts with Equinix and a massive 12 gigawatt framework with Switch, signaling a shift from pilot projects to industrial scale nuclear power deployment. Altogether, these deals show that there's a strong demand for Oklo's Aurora powerhouses and fuel recycling technology as well in both the government and commercial sectors. And for investors, well, what does that mean? Well, they're already validating Oklo's vision before the first reactor even switches on. So those are the catalysts right now that I see for growth. I'll film another video that covers the risks to Oklo's business model next. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on it. So what about the stock? Well, a consensus among 16 analysts rate Oklo stock a moderate buy with a high target price of $150. And that suggests as much as 36% potential upside from today's price. The average score is 3.81, and it has declined a little over the last 3 months. And that dip in analyst sentiment, well, I think analysts are wanting more proof before paying up further. With the company's Aurora powerhouses finally starting to roll out, well, is Oklo a buy? Well, for me, I'm still watching on the sidelines because this is where I say risk tolerance really matters. If you really believe in what Oklo's doing and you have a long-term time horizon and a little risk capital that's available for projects like this, well, this could be a genius idea down the line, but I wouldn't bet the farm on it though. But you tell me, are you buying into Oklo's growth prospects, or are you waiting for something more? Let me know in the comments below. And while you're there, if you found this video helpful, do like and subscribe so others will find it as well. Well, folks, that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.